Hello, everyone. Hello,
Good evening,
evening.
everybody.
Welcome to our Monday night service. As you can see, there are only two of us. You might be able to see I'm at our caravan in Withernsea, and Jean's at her caravan along in Hornsea, which is a little bit further. Hang on, let me get my angles right. That way.
So, yes.
It's that way.
Yeah.
Irene's way. And she barely gets any phone signal there, let alone 4G. So I'm working off my phone's 4G hotspot. So fingers crossed we'll get through a service.
Well, I've been good, girl. I'm stayed at home in Doncaster. So nobody bothered to. Nobody invited me to the seaside. So.
Well, you've had an invite tonight, so
I have, darling.
Next time we come down, you can come with me. I know. So when I first was talking to Irene before we went live, I was lagging a little bit, but we seem to have caught up. So fingers crossed. And my chest infection's going now, so we're good to go. We're good to go. We thought, hello, Jacqueline. Hello, Nicola. Hello, Paul, Mandy, and everybody else who said hello that I've missed because this.
Yeah. Hello, Julie, Andrew, Paul, Mandy,
everybody.
Samantha.
Welcome, one and all. That's the one thing I love about our religion, darling. It's that we're all encompassing and all welcoming.
Yep,
absolutely. We don't discriminate against anybody.
No.
So
no.
Everybody's welcome here as long as we're nice and polite to each other. So
one religion, one mind.
Exactly. We all come from one God. So what difference does it make? There we are.
None to me.
No,
none to me.
Me.
You treat me right, I'll treat you right.
Precisely. So tonight's format is going to be the standard one. We're going to do opening prayer. Irene's got a poem she wants to read, and then we'll do some blind readings this Friday coming. We might do 2 on-screen readings. So if anybody is going to be free on Friday at 7:00 and would like to come online for a reading,
put your teeth in, Tony.
I know it's this purple dye has gone to my head. If you send me a private message saying you'd like a reading, I'll send you a link Friday afternoon to come on at 7:00 with Irene and myself. 2 readings, and then we'll do an evening of blind readings, because then everybody has a shot of getting a message from their loved ones.
Absolutely.
Just before we start, I want to just cover the basics again, Irene, because I've seen a few different names going up tonight. We can't.
Absolutely.
We can't reach out and pull spirit forward. Spirit come to us. So I would love to give everybody a reading and to guarantee that I can get somebody for everybody that's on, but I can't. If you want your loved ones to connect with us, you have to send out your love and your thoughts out to them and ask them to step forward, and then we'll connect with them and bring the message forward. Because I sometimes see people saying, please give me a message from my great aunt Nellie. We can't do that. It's just not how we work as mediums. So send your love out to your loved ones and we'll see what happens. Just before I do the opening prayer, Deborah Adams, the caravan is in Tunstall, near to Withernsea. Withernsea is just a little bit that way, just over there, 5 minutes drive. So we're on the east coast between Hull and Bridlington. That's where we are, and that's where I am till Friday. Fingers crossed, all being well. Right.
As long as the dogs let you.
As long as Michael can work, because he's still working, but he's managed to hook up and do what he can from here today. So fingers crossed it still goes. I did say bring your own car down. Then if you can't work, you can go home yourself, but he didn't. So there we are.
Oh!
I know.
Oh, Deborah says my mother-in-law lived there in Withensea.
It's
Deborah
lovely.
Adams.
It is. It's a lovely little town, Deborah. It's really nice. It's a little bit tired, but you can see it's been an absolutely lovely little seaside town. It's absolutely gorgeous. So yep.
Jean's just up the road in Hornsey.
And Jean's just up the road in Hornsey, yes, which is absolutely lovely. I love Hornsey. And I like the little caravan site because we were on there originally.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a lovely weekend, wasn't it? That you,
it
me,
was.
and Jean. Yeah,
it was. It was really nice. Yeah, and Michael as well. It was really nice. Nice and relaxing.
It was. It was. So I will open in prayer and then we will get this show on the road.
Okay.
You can tell I'm giddy because I'm away. Right.
We wouldn't notice.
No. Right. Heavenly Father, divine and gracious Lord, we thank you for allowing us to gather together virtually to celebrate in your name tonight. Father, I ask that the veil be lifted between the two realms to allow the guides and inspirers of Irene and myself to step forward, to allow us to become your vessels of communication, to bring forward messages of truth, of proof, love and upliftment. Father, we thank you for all of the wonderful gifts you've given to us today. We thank you for the reduction in this COVID and the fact that life is slowly getting back to normal. Father, I ask that all of those who are guiding and leading us at the moment be granted your wisdom, your love, your truth, and your honesty, so that they may understand that we are only one human race under God. Father, at the end of this evening, I will hand back to you all which is rightfully yours with love, honour and glory. Amen.
Amen.
And now I'll say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day your daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, bright. As I opened my eyes then, I just went blind.
Ah, well, there you go. See, that's what happens when you sit in the sun. Right. I was explaining to Tony, ladies and gentlemen, the poem that I've got tonight is for somebody very, very special. I lost somebody very, very close to me just a few months ago in April, and I've written this for his wife, also a very, very close friend, and I just hope you like it. It's just called Our Memories We Made Together. I am jealous of the angels around the throne tonight. God has taken you home, hidden you from my sight. My heart is shattered, broken too. One side filled with heartache, the other side died with you. We were very close, you and I. We had a very special bond. I never wanted to say goodbye. Now, alone, I have to try to be strong. The memories we made together, I cherish and keep close in my heart. We knew our love would be forever, but for now we have to be apart. We have a lifetime of fun and love, ups and downs along the way. The angels looked kindly on us from above, and we worked together side by side each and every day. The memories we made together, our family, our lives, our friends, always struggling to make things better. On each other we did depend. We watched our children grow with pride, and along the way we laughed and cried. We held each other up so we would not fall, but we loved each other and we came through it all. The memories we made together are now on old photographs and in my heart. You will leave me never. You will always be together, never apart. The veil has closed. God has called you home. Now, for the first time in years, I am all alone. I will never hold you in my arms again or kiss your sweet face. I will go on without you, but you know no one will ever take your place. So goodbye for now, my darling. I know you'll watch me from afar. When my journey of life is done, I'll come home to you, and once again, we will be one. Sorry, got a bit emotional there.
Me too. Me too. That was absolutely beautiful, Irene. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. He was a lovely, lovely man. He was kind, gentle, and he was so proud of his family. And it was just, I explained how he went, and it was just a horrible way for such a lovely, intelligent man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway.
It is. It's a dreadful, dreadful, dreadful disease. Dreadful.
It is. It's awful. And he suffered long, but he's at peace now.
It takes you twice, I think. It takes you from your family twice. It's awful, but there we are. Right.
Oh, thank you, Tara. Tara said, made me cry. So beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Lots of people have said there were tears.
I do appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put it on my Facebook page. So if anybody wants to read it, or on my Your Story page, and then if anybody wants to read it again, they can do so.
That would be lovely. That would be lovely. So now we will do our mediumship and try and bring the two worlds just a little bit closer tonight. And yeah, me too, Samantha, right? Me too. Brought a lump to my throat and tears.
Thank you,
absolutely
Samantha.
Gorgeous. It's beautiful. So listen up. If you recognise any of the information we're given, just put, I can take that, or something like that in the comments, and Irene and myself will see if we can pick them up and develop the link. As always, as we always say, if you can take part of a message, that's lovely, you take that, but for the message to be a complete message for you, you need to be able to take all of the bundle of information that we're bringing forward. Because we sometimes get it where they say, well, I can take that, but not that, or that. Well, it's given from the same person, so we need you to be able to take the majority of it. There might be bits that we've maybe misinterpreted or something, but on the whole, it needs to be the package. Have you anybody drawing close, Irene?
I have actually got somebody.
Okay.
Right. Now then, just before I start, my healing book is open as well. I don't know if Tony's got his with him or not, but mine's open. So if you want your name put in my healing book, please let me know and I'll write it down while Tony's giving messages. Okay. Right.
I haven't got mine with me, but if you drop your name into comments, say, I would like to ask for healing for X, Y, or Z, then I'll include that list in my prayers tonight, because I always say prayers every night and every morning.
Same.
All the time, actually.
Yeah.
All the time. Anyway, sorry, Irene.
It's all right. I'm just going to wake up at least, and I'm breathing and I'm alive. Right.
Okay.
What can you say? Right. Okay. This afternoon I was sat doing my knitting, because I do a lot of knitting, and I just had somebody sort of like knock, 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 and this was on the inside of my head, and I'm sort of, and I could hear somebody knocking, and I didn't know who it was, and I had this gentleman come to me, and all he told me was that he was a military man. He was not old when he passed to spirit, and I think from what he said, I'm just waiting for him to come forward, because I told him I was on tonight. I'm almost sure he said that he passed away when he was at war. So I'm saying I'm almost sure it's army, and he gave me Afghanistan, but he's not telling me if this was the war in the 80s or the more recent one. He showed himself in military uniform, and he said he didn't tell me how he passed away, just that it wasn't. He didn't tell me if it was a shooting or if it was an IAD or anything else. He's a lovely, lovely gentleman, and I know he's got a family because he talked about a wife, and he talked. Now he mentioned 4, so I'm not sure if that's mum, dad, and the 2 children, or 4 siblings. I'm not sure, but he did say there's twins in the family. So whoever this is, it's a military gentleman, passed away doing his work as military personnel, and he left a wife and children. He's not given me any names. He's quite tall, this gentleman, and he's quite slim, and he was very athletic. He was very, very athletic. He was a very fit gentleman, and it was an instant passing, because one minute he was on the ground and the next minute he was surprised to find himself up in spirit. If anybody can take this gentleman, please.
Bless him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where.
No.
Come on, it's mentioned Sheffield. Hello, sweetheart. He's here now. He's mentioned Sheffield, so I know he's in or around the Sheffield area. And I don't normally get places where they live, but
No, it's good.
And he was in the army. He'd signed up at. Come on, sweetheart, tell me. He signed up when he was 17, and he wasn't old, but he was sort of, I would say, mid-30s, I would say between 35 and 50, somewhere. So he did not see old bones.
Come
Can
on,
anybody
sweetheart.
at all take this gentleman?
Nobody yet.
Right. Okay. Nobody yet. Okay. It's going to be going to be one of those nights. Right. Okay. Let me see if I can. Come on. Where are you, sweetheart?
Yes.
Right. Okay, darling. He got medals, and whoever his family is, he was repatriated, and they had a service for him before this pandemic. So this sometime, I would say, last year or very early this year. But no, that can't be right. That can't be right. No. Because we're not in Afghanistan now, the English, are we? Right. Okay.
No, we've left.
Right. So why are you telling me? Sorry, my mistake. Is talking about between 5 and 7 years. So that would be around about. Anybody at all can take this gentleman. He's telling me that there is somebody on here now. He's looking over my shoulder. He's saying he's just waiting for a name to come up, and he's going to tell me who he's with. I'm going to ask him to step aside because we have to get on and do others. So I'm going to ask him to step aside for now, but he's going to stay there, and hopefully we might get something in a moment. Tony, have you got anything, sweetheart?
I have. When I was getting ready this morning, English Army in Syria.
Yeah,
Janice
right.
Mod.
Janice. Right, Janice. Can you? I'm sorry, Tony. Can you take everything else, Janice, please? I know that I said Afghanistan, but I'm not sure. I don't know my countries out there, so I am sorry if I've got it in the wrong place. Come on, sweetheart. Can you take everything else? The children, the repatriation, and obviously he never came back to you as he should have done. Okay. Right.
Time lag.
Yeah, we're going to have to leave it, sweetheart. Sorry, Tony, you carry on. And if Janice comes back, I'll come back to her a bit later. No, nothing. You carry on, Tony.
When I was getting ready this morning, you know the song. Do run 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 do
Oh
run
yes,
run.
Run run, yeah.
Well, I didn't get anything else other than do run 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 do run 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 run. So I'm presuming the gentleman was either a Ron, a Ronald, a Ronnie, and is a mature gentleman because he's talking about the grandkids. But he's talking about being a shadow of himself. Now, I don't know whether that means he physically was a shadow of himself when he passed to spirit, or he was mentally and that a shadow of himself before he took his transition to spirit. I know he was a smoker because as he's around me, I can smell the cigarettes. But he's also making me want to feel like I'm with somebody who he's telling me that it's a lady he's wanting to connect with down on Earth plane, is very strong, very independent, very although we act all hard and tough and roughy tufty, we're actually like a marshmallow. So all this bluff and bluster isn't fooling anybody, is what he's saying to me.
Tony, if you look, Janice Mody's saying, my dad was army and his name is Ronald.
Oh, I wonder if we've got this.
Might have the same link because we tend to do that now, don't we?
We do, just like I do with Jean. It tends to all blend together. And Deborah Adams had an uncle, Ron. Let me sort it. Yep. Would you...
Jenny says we used to think that my friends and dad.
Right. Well, we've got this sense of screaming at the world so that the world doesn't know just how vulnerable we are. So it's putting up this hard front against the world because we've been hurt one too many times, is what I'm being told by this gentleman. He's definitely a relative. He's definitely a relative to the person he's speaking to down here, and he's talking about his grandchildren, so there must be grandchildren on Earth plane as well. I think we're with Janice Mod, you know, Irene, because she said he left me and my sister.
I said 4 and 2 brothers, and I said there was 4 siblings.
You did, yeah. But he is talking about being hurt one too many times, but not to close yourself off. And she woke up this morning with him knocking in her head. Well, that's what you got, didn't you?
That's what I had. Yeah, that's the first thing I got. Yeah.
Yeah. Knock, knock, knock. You would understand.
I'm with Janice.
As you're talking about knocking, I'm hearing knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. So that song must fit somewhere as well. It's quite an old song as well. And I don't normally work with music, which is why I think I'm linking with you, Irene.
Yeah, because as you said it, I got the same song.
And I'm also getting the Seekers, We Shall Not Be Moved.
Yeah.
So you would understand where once you set your mind to something, Janice, you will not be moved. And he's saying in a lot of ways that's a good thing, but sometimes it's stopping you from exploring different avenues, sweetheart, if you would understand why he's telling me this. You must be able to take a reference to Old Spice aftershave as well, because I can smell that, and I don't use Old Spice aftershave. And also, what's that smell, darling? Don't just give me the smell. You're going to have to give me some of it because I don't recognize it. It's... Oh, I know what it is. It's Pear's soap. You know, the clear bar of Pear's soap?
Yeah.
I can smell Pear's soap. So you must know somebody who used Pear's soap as well, Janice. You must understand brother spirit side. I don't know if he's talking about his brother or somebody that would have been like a brother in spirit, because he's talking about brother. No, it was definitely Old Spice, sweetheart, not Brut.
Brut's very distinctive.
I've got a bottle of Brut at home, but this was Old Spice. Old Spice, the images of Old Spice is sea. So would you understand a reference to the sea then, sweetheart, if you can't understand the Old Spice? Because the advert used to be a sailing ship and sea and big waves and things. So would you understand a link to the sea, either a Navy connection or somebody who would go fishing, sea fishing, something like that? Because I've got Old Spice, the smell, and the waves. So that must be my misunderstanding then. Also, as he's connecting with me, I want to talk about the month of October as being significant around your family, sweetheart, and also around the 7th and the 17th of a month. I'm not saying of October, but around the 7th and the 17th of a month must be significant for you as well, sweetheart. Oh, don't do that. Okay. Would you understand why he's talking about teeth not fitting? I don't like false teeth. But he's talking about teeth not fitting. So I don't know if somebody would have lost weight prior to their passing so that the dentures didn't fit properly, or something about the teeth not being right. Yes, he had a brother, your uncle. Okay, sweetheart, that's fine. That's fine. You would... He's also referencing a funeral where there would have been standing room only, either in the church or in the chapel, sweetheart, because he's talking about the standing room only, and it was a really good send-off. I don't feel he's referencing his passing, but he was at a funeral where there was standing room only, a family funeral, and he was there in spirit, observing. Bless. Okay. He is pulling back from me, sweetheart, but as he's pulling back, his black teeth, that could be it. He was just referencing the teeth not being right. He's moved to one side and there's a lady come through from spirit, and as she comes through, I can see she's not a very big lady in that she's not well covered. She's just very slender. But what she lacked in stature, she more than made up for in personality, because I feel like this lady was a huge personality, really funny. Her words, so I can say it. I'm really loud, really out there, really fun, and even though I'm 4 foot nothing, that was your granddad's funeral. Okay, sweetheart. So this lady must link with this gentleman I've been working with as well, sweetheart. and she hasn't actually got anything to add. She just said, I wanted people to know I was here. And with that, they've both stepped aside, sweetheart. So I'll hand you over to Irene to see if she's got anything to add to that.
The only thing, as Tony mentioned, the sea, sweetheart, immediately the gentleman put in my head Katrina and the Waves. So I don't know if somebody liked. I haven't got a clue. I know they're a group, but that's all I know. I don't know any of the music. Excuse me. But he's also saying that he was a very old-fashioned man, he's telling me, because he's just changed his uniform to the old World War II type uniform, which was very thick and very heavy. And that's telling me he was a very old-fashioned man, and he liked the old ways. He doesn't like the ways of today. But he really just wanted to come just to let you know. I mean, I saw you post earlier that you put on, Janice, saying that you still cry for him. He understands that, but he wants you to know that he's okay and that he's fine in spirit. And if you want him, just talk to him. And he's wanting to dry your tears, sweetheart. He's wanting to dry your tears. He knows it's hard, but he's just wanting you to see that beautiful smile of yours, and he wants you to know how much he loves you and all the family as well. And he's not on his own. I don't know if it's you that's been asking questions, but he's definitely not on his own. He has got family with him, sweetheart. Otherwise he wouldn't have brought the lady through that Tony got. Okay, they are all together. And can I take you to where are you taking me? I've got to go October. I'm not very good with months and days, but October, November time for birthdays, anniversaries, or passings. And he's not telling me which it is. And he's just somebody in the family, one of the younger ones, is very musical. He's talking about music because he loved his music. And he just wants to leave you with all his love, darling, and say you've got a big heart, and please don't let anybody walk all over you. And I'm going to say good night and God bless, because he's leaving me now. So thank you very much for working with us, darling. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Janice. Lisa Jane, so sorry for your loss, darling. Just know that whatever Dad's ailments, as he took his last breath here, his first breath in spirit, he was fine. So just know. And when the time's right, he will come around, sweetheart. It might not be tonight, but when the time's right for you and for him, because they grieve as much as we do, because we grieve their loss, but they grieve as well because they can't be with us in physical anymore. So they do have a period of grieving as well, sweetheart. But he will come. He will come when he's ready. His son, Janice says our son's birthday is October. 2 brothers are musical. They play guitar.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you for that, Janice. It's
thank you for that confirmation.
Yes, thank you.
Right. I'm sorry, I've got to give this off before.
Yeah, go on. You carry on, sweetheart.
You might have seen me taking my earbud out all the time. Well, it's whistling in my ear, and when I took it out, the whistling was still there, so it wasn't the earbud. It's whistling in my ear. Now, I do suffer with tinnitus, but this is different. So somebody down here must understand somebody who would have had ringing in their ears, hardness of hearing, because I also feel like I would have had a hearing aid in. So the gentleman I've got would have worn a hearing aid as well, because I've got it in this ear.
Daniela Griffin is saying my pop.
All right. Okay. Well, listen in. See if you can take any more. He's also talking about. I'm going to have to be careful with this chap. he's going to get me shot. He's quite funny. He's a practical joker. He likes to play pranks because he's dropping in the odd word that I can't use on a stream like this to see if he can make
Get round it.
Yeah. So he's really, really funny. I do love him, but I'm going to have to be really careful with him because he's going to make mischief. I can tell. He's taking my ring off, so there would be jewelry left from this chap down here. I don't know if it's his wedding band or what ring this is, a signet ring. But he's just taken me to a ring that would be left and jewelry that would be left from him. That's down here. He's also somebody must be suffering with migraines or something because I've got this intense pain in my head. And it's connected here. So there's somebody here who is suffering at the minute with the head because he's asking for healing to be sent around the head. All right. I can hear Jackie being shouted in. And I can also hear come on. Why have I got that? He's singing Oranges and Lemons. Oranges and lemons, so the bells of St. Clement's. I don't know if that's a memory link or if he's bringing it symbolically. If it's symbolically, I can't quite figure out where he's wanting me. Jack's your dad, Delia. Okay, that's fine. So Delia and Daniela think they could be in at the minute. Daniela, you sing it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I just heard it in my head and I was trying to work out what the symbolism of it is, but it's the memory link that he's bringing forward then as well. Okay, then. I can see in my mind's eye one of the big old-fashioned rocking horses. You know where they're not on rockers, they're on a swing system.
Yeah.
So it's a really posh one. Mine just had a rocker on it. Mine were cheap.
I'm not saying the word.
No, just like me. No. So you must understand where there would be memories of playing on a rocking horse, because I can see this rocking horse in my mind's eye, and he's smiling when he's bringing it to me. So this would be a memory. He's also making me feel like he would be very good with his hands. He could make things, do things, mend things. I can only do my nails. That's where it ends. Knit and crochet. I can knit and crochet. So it is very good, very handy to have around. Bless you. You would understand as well where there's a gentleman passing, 1, 2, 3, gone. So 1 minute we're sat watching telly or whatever, and the next minute we're in spirit. It was that quick.
Daniela says, I had an old rocking horse. He built it for me.
All right, okay.
So that would make sense, wouldn't it?
It would. And Delia's still in though.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. His death, Danielle, sorry. Okay, yeah. Okay. I also want to acknowledge the children's spirit side of life. I'm not sure yet whether they touched earth plane or if they died in the womb, but he's talking to me about the children around the family that are with him in spirit now. Oh, Danielle, I'm sorry. Just laughing and then he just died. Yeah. Oh, that's dreadful. That's dreadful.
It is. It is.
Or, as I said, it's dreadful. He said, I'd rather go like that than linger.
Yeah.
So that's me. That's me told off. Told you I was going to have fun with this chap.
Yeah,
I wear
absolutely.
a crucifix, and he's bringing me to a chain. So there was a necklace left, but I feel this is more a lady's necklace than a gentleman's. So please, if you could understand where a lady would have left a necklace. I'm not saying it's a crucifix, but it could be a locket. But I just know there's something on a chain that was left from a lady that connects with this chap. Also, she's just jumped in now, and she says her wedding ring and engagement ring as well. So her engagement ring and her wedding ring must be here as well, because she said they're not with her. Please, would one of you understand? Nana
Danielle's
left one.
nan left one.
Right. Please, would you understand as well where there's the acid in the stomach, because I've just got a really gripey tummy. Oh, she died 18 months after him.
Oh, bless.
Well, they're together. They're together. But I am referencing the stomach condition, the upset stomach, the acidy stomach. All right. All right. What else have I got? That's not helpful. The gentleman's just said, talk about the entertainment, not entertainment at all, education. And I'm not sure if he actually means somebody works in education or somebody's returned to education, because it's an adult he's talking about and he's saying education. So I've got a split link here. I've got a split link. All right.
You're going to have to try and split it, sweetheart.
Danielle's in study now. That makes sense. That makes sense, because it's a grown person in education. Yeah. Right. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. If Delia doesn't come back with a response to that one, then I know where I am. So, okay. Right. And Delia's dad was a Jack. Right. Well, Delia, then if you take everything you can up to now, and Danielle, I will keep saying Daniela. Danielle, if you can listen in, please. Right. Actually, I haven't got much else, because I can feel their energies backing off a little bit. But would you understand why I'm seeing pauses of carnations and pansies and like springtime flowers? So I've just got little pauses of all these springtime flowers. And I've also got a rainbow. So rainbow for me is hope, joy, upliftment, color, vibrancy. And he's bringing all of this into your life, sweetheart. Okay. And like I said, they are pulling away from me now. So I'll just see if Irene's got a little bit or a lot or something.
Right. I've seen your last post, Danielle. Your pop was John. Well, Jack is also another
John.
name for John, because my dad was John, but everybody called him Jack. When Tony mentioned oranges and lemons, I got a link to London, and I got a link to the Barrow Boys on the Covent Garden Market. When it was the old Covent Garden Market, they took me straight down there, because the church where the song comes from, it's actually in and around the Hackney area, where a lot of the true London Cockneys, the pearly kings and queens, came from. And as Tony said, oranges and lemons, I saw a pearly king or queen. So that must be either a memory or somebody going back in the family. If you don't know about it, please have a look, and you might find something in old photographs, sweetheart. Now, Well, again, Tony mentioned the fact that somebody's gone to education. You said you were studying. Whatever, I don't know what it is that you want to do, but everybody around you is rooting for you, sweetheart. We know it's a long road ahead for you. Just keep going at it and keep plodding, and you will get to where you want to be. And this gentleman is with you, and he's looking over his shoulder and watching what you're doing, and he's saying you are capable of doing this, and don't let anybody put you off, sweetheart. I know that Tony mentioned, was it carnations, Tony? I've got to give I've got to give you lilies, and you would not only lilies as the flower, but you would also understand the name of lily as well. Well, his father came from England as a convict. Okay, right. That could be where the link is then. Right. That's very interesting, that. Okay, sweetheart. Right. I haven't got much more for you, darling. All I want you to know is that he is with you. Okay. He's with you, and he's saying, I love you, sweetheart, and God bless. All right. And I'm going to leave it there with you, Daniela. But can I just jump straight on to Delia for a moment? Right, Delia, I know that you could take some of that was there. Now, again, I know that you've got an Auntie Lily. Now, you're very welcome, Danielle. Right, I've just got to. Right, Delia, I've got a lady coming forward for you, sweetheart, and I don't know if it's you, but she's talking about something not being quite right in the family. I don't know if there's some sort of argument going on, but there's something that the waves around the family are not right. There's something that's not gelling like it should be. And what this lady's saying is, I see that you grow peace lilies. I've got one; they're beautiful. Now, what this lady's saying is, she's talking about somebody who's losing the temper. So I don't know if that's you, Delia, or if it's somebody that's around you that's very quick tempered and tends to lose the temper quite a bit. Right. Okay. That says it all. Then, if you've been arguing with a friend, this lady's just saying, please don't. That's because it's really just not worth it. Try and make peace if you can, sweetheart. But please, again, know that this lady is with you and she's looking after you. And I don't know if you see spirit, but you do. I know that you see shadows, and she's in the background and she's trying to look after you. And she's saying, would you please open your ears and listen? Because sometimes somebody will talk to you and you don't hear it properly because you don't listen. You tend not to listen, sweetheart. Okay. And she's also talking about jewelry that's been left as well. I know that Tony gave it to the other lady. I don't know if it's your mum, darling. She's not giving me her name. She's just telling me that she's here and that she just wants to make sure that you're okay. And I don't know if it's mum or who it is. She's not. She's just. And sometimes we don't get names. We just know who it's for. Right. If your ears are getting blocked, sweetheart, that could be something medical and we can't diagnose. But this lady is putting the emphasis of listen. You just have to keep listening. Okay. And one day won't be so long, but one day you will get the answers that you're asking, because you're asking spirit a lot of questions at the moment, and they can only answer one at once. They can't answer them all. but she just wants to put her arms around you, sweetheart, and give you a big hug. And I've also got to give you some purple irises for healing as well, sweetheart. Okay, and I don't know if Tony's got anything for you, Delia, but I'm going to leave it there, darling, and I'm going to say good night and God bless. Tony?
I've got, as you were talking to Delia, I've got the, what's her name song? The Tapestry. My Life is Like a Tapestry.
Oh,
what's her name, Michael? No. The album was called Tapestry.
It was.
Carole King. Carole King.
Yeah, Carole King.
Carole King. So I'm not sure at the minute whether it's symbolic in that your life is like a tapestry. It's made up of lots and lots of things. So there's been a lot of hurt and upset around you, and it's made you the person you are. Or if this lady would have liked doing cross stitch and that type of thing and tapestry. So I'm not sure what it is, but I could hear Carole King singing Tapestry. I do feel there's some symbolism there as well, because I've also got Dolly singing My Coat of Many Colours, which is where her mum took a box of rags and sewed them together into a coat. And I'm seeing that as very symbolic for you, sweetheart, where your life has been this patchwork of events and you don't feel that all of these events are connected. But what I'm hearing from this lady, and she does feel very maternal to me, is just look at you, because all of these events and these little tiny stitches have made you the person you are now. And without them and all of this, she nearly said a naughty word then, all of this stuff that you've gone through in your life, you wouldn't have been the person you are now. So that's all I got, really. I do want to sort of draw a line there, if that's all right, Irene, unless you've got anything else, because I've just saw a question from Lisa Jane that I would like to answer.
Go on then, you do that, sweetheart, and I'll listen.
No, I think you could input as well. Lisa Jane
right,
said,
okay.
I won't be able to get home for my dad's funeral. Will that make me a bad person? Not at all, sweetheart.
Absolutely
not. No.
If you can't get home, there obviously are reasons why you can't get home for his funeral, but you can remember him in other ways on that particular day at that particular time, and you can just tune in and just send a prayer up and be with the family with your spirit.
Yeah, and say your goodbyes in your way, because Dad will already know that you're not going to be able to get there, and he will know all of the reasons why. And what's important to your dad, sweetheart, is the fact that you desperately want to be there.
And he will be aware of that. If I could just give you a little bit of advice, Lisa, clear a little space on a little table or somewhere, and light a nice perfume candle. And if you've got anything of his, or if you've got a picture of him, just put it on the table and just sit there very quietly and do a small meditation and just tell him that you're there and that you are with him, and he will understand. He will understand.
I completely understand. She's just said Portugal has closed its border, Spanish border, so she has to wait for it to open. I've heard so many stories of people not being able to make it to see people before they take their transition, their passing.
Absolutely.
And it's hard. It's so hard. But your dad's not going to be there, really. His spirit's already gone across, and he will be with his family wherever they are on that day. He will visit everybody. So just have a moment at the same time, same place, not the same place, obviously, same time, same day. And like Irene's just said, light a candle, whatever you feel is appropriate for you. Have some photographs out. Talk about him. That's the important thing. Talk about him. That's what he wants. He wants to be remembered. He wants to be talked about and remembered. And that's what you will do. That's what a funeral is, really. A funeral is us gathering together to share memories of this person's life. And if you do that, you're honouring him in the best way you can. And the fact that you want to be there, but you are being prevented from being there, stands you way above. So there's, yeah.
When I read, I don't know if you heard the poem that I read out, Lisa. It was very hard for because it's somebody that I'm personally involved with. It was very, very hard for me not to be able to go, but there are other circumstances around that. But what I did, I wrote the poem, and you will remember him in your own way, in your own time, and when he is ready, he will come. He will come and talk to you, and he will come and be with you. And do not be at all surprised if you sit quietly on that particular day. Do not be surprised if he comes, and you might smell his body odor, and I don't mean that the way it sounds. Everybody has a certain smell. You might smell that. You might feel his presence. It might be something and nothing, but it's something for you. So do not despair, because it just, everything will be fine, sweetheart. He knows. He knows, and that's all you need to know. Just be with him in that silence when it's his time to say goodbye, and you can say goodbye to him in your own way, darling. God bless you.
God bless you, sweetheart. I know these times are very, very difficult. Very difficult. We have got a couple of minutes if anybody wants to ask any more questions, or because we don't really have time to do another reading, but I just wanted to answer Lisa's question before we went off.
That's all right. I'll put you in my healing book, Lisa, so you know, and I'll ask the angels to come and sit with you, if you know, and see if they'll come and give you a bit of peace, if you like, is the only way I can say it. So, right.
Delia's just said you two are very good. We're not. We just do what spirit. Delia, we don't have to let your partner know that you miss him, sweetheart. Your partner is with you. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's just changed from a physical person into a spirit person. And he will be around you, and you will feel him. You will know he's there. Like Irene said, either a smell or a breeze, or what I get a lot is where you feel like there's either a hair or a cobweb on the side of your face, and that's them just stroking at your cheek. So they do know that you're around, and that you want to know that they're around, so they do let you know. They do let you know in their very, very own individual ways. I gave a message to a lady once, and her husband used to sit on the side of her bed, and she would feel her bed physically move on a night when he sat down, or she would see a dent in the quilt cover. So he will make his presence felt to you in very individual ways. If you've smelt his aftershave, Delia, there you go.
He's with you.
Sharon Williams says, I feel spirit but can't see them. Will I be able to develop? As I was like that when I first started with Jean, when Jean first started taking me out with her and a friend, I I had what they call clairsentience, where I just know the words I need to say. I couldn't see anything, couldn't hear anything, didn't smell anything, got nothing other than the words were in my head and they were out my mouth, and I couldn't think. They weren't my words, they were spirit's words. As you work with the link, and as you work with spirit, the more you work with them, the more they will give you. So as time develops, and it's like, what does Pat call it? It's a muscle. It's like a muscle, and you've got to exercise it and work it to develop it. So the more you work with spirit, and the more, and I'm saying that, and I've just realized what I've said, but you need to do it safely, sweetheart. You need, like Jacqueline says, you need to ground yourself, you need to protect yourself, and you need to work with spirit on your terms. Otherwise, they will take over and you won't get rid of them. I made that mistake. I didn't used to be able to close down properly, and I was exhausted because they were there. So just work with it. Find a church or a centre, go and work with them and do it safely and properly. And if you don't know where your local church is, if you get in touch with me, Irene or Michael, we'll do a bit of research for you and tell you where you are and where. Yeah, Adele, how many times did a certain person we know have to get energies removed from the house when he'd been out doing ghost hunts and things and hadn't closed down properly and protected himself, and he would get an attachment and it would just follow him home. So protection is very, very important. Very important.
Sharon, if you have trouble with this, the best thing that you can do is just try and do a little bit of meditation. Again, the same as what I said to Lisa earlier. Clear a space on a small table or somewhere, light a candle, sit in the silence, turn your phones off, turn your televisions off, and just sit there for 10 minutes. And when you get used to doing that, you can then increase it by 5 minutes each time when you are comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's important. I know that Tony's talked about protection and that, but it's also important to make sure that you've got your chakras balanced as well. Because if you don't balance your chakras, it all works together. Your chakras, your energies, your protection. But I agree totally with Tony. If you don't do it properly, spirit will take over, and you can get things attached to you. Especially if you don't close down properly. You've got to make sure that you close down properly, and again you put your protection until next time you want to open your chakras and work again, like Tony and I do, and Jean when she's here, and Michael too. I mean, even though Michael's in the background, he still has to do this, because otherwise it would affect him as well. And some of the entities that can get attached to you are not nice. So just be very, very careful of what you do. I would advise you, as Tony said, go to a church, find somebody with experience, and let them help you with this. Please, please, please do not do it on your own, because you could only make things worse.
Like Adele says, and know your limits. If you don't feel comfortable with something, end it, close down, and protect yourself.
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
There are lots of different ways to close down, Delia, and everybody finds their own way. I'm very good at now. If I'm getting to the end of my limit, my guides will say to me, "Good night, God bless," and that's them saying to me, "You're shut. We're not going. We're not going any further. We've closed you down." Or if I feel I'm getting tired, I just say to them, "Good night, God bless, guys," and that's them, my way of letting them know that that's it. Some people imagine themselves in a bubble with a zip, and they open it to work. They get back in the bubble afterwards and close the zip down, and that's their protection, and then close down. If
The
you
only
know
thing,
about chakras and things, other people go through them and open them and then close them down
yeah,
again.
I do.
There's
I
lots
do.
and lots of different ways of doing it.
You have to
And
find
there's
your own way.
I was just going to say there's no right way, and there is a wrong way.
No,
The wrong way is you don't.
yeah,
That's the only wrong way of doing it, really.
yeah,
As long
yeah.
as spirit understand that when you do this, that's it.
Yeah, I agree totally with Tony. When you're doing this, you have to protect yourself. You have to protect wherever you're working with. If you go into a church, then automatically the church president and whoever is on platform hosting for you, they will have automatically put protection around the church and the congregation to make sure that nothing can come in or out. It's just exactly the same, except it's you on your own with your spirit guides. And I know that Tony does this, so but he didn't mention it. Whenever I've done a service, even in my prayers, morning and night, before and after a service, I always say respectfully, thank you for allowing me to be your channel, because respect is a two-way street with spirit, and if you don't have it, what they give you to work with, they can take away. It's a
And we've
two-way
seen
street.
mediums where that's happened, haven't we?
We have. I mean, my father
Mediums where
started working with me in spirit, and he doesn't do it now, but when he first started working with me, he'd take my voice, my hearing, and I'd be stood there looking like a fish out of water, mouth opening, closing, nothing coming out. But he's learnt now, because I had to tell him, go and sit next to my husband and behave yourself, and now he learns how to work with me. And that's lovely, because I've got my dad sometimes. He doesn't work with me all the time, but you don't always get to know your spirit guides or their names or
no.
where they're from or anything. That is information that you very often, as a medium, we will never ever get. It doesn't matter. If you do the job properly, they will help you. If you want to learn, they will help you. But
Yeah.
they will help you in truth, love, and honesty. And you don't have to be a medium. There's other genres. You could be, like, for instance, a psychic artist. You could do scrying, which is reading strange letters in mirrors, which my husband can do to a T, but I can't. You can do healing. You don't have to stand on platform and be a medium. Go to a circle. Go on, Lovey.
I was just going to say, and just be aware that they will give you the path you need, which isn't necessarily the path you want.
Yeah,
I wanted
absolutely.
to be a healer. The thought of standing on platform was the furthest thing away from my mind, because I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it.
You
But
were so shy when you first started.
I know. But I just said to them, right, that's fine. Take me where you want me to go. And
yeah, absolutely.
Last year, Jean, Irene and myself, between us, must have done over 200 churches and centres.
Yeah, we did. We did.
And it's such a privilege. Every time I do it, it feels like the first time, because it just is such a privilege to do what we're doing.
The only thing I will finish on is, and I always say this, when spirit want you to work with them, you are not getting out of it. And you sign a contract, an invisible contract with spirit, and you work from whenever. I mean, I've written a poem about my journey as a medium, and I'm going to read that out on our next session. I've been doing this since I was 5 years old. My grandma taught me. That's how I got into it. And I've come on this long journey to where I am now. I love what I do. And that's another thing. If you want to do this, you have got to love what you do. To me, it's not a job, as Tony's just said. It's an absolute, utter privilege to be a channel for spirit. And I will say good night, people. God bless. Thank you for listening to us.
Yep. That's us rambling. So there you go. But it is such a privilege to do what we do. Right, notices before we finish. Wednesday, we have 2 mediums on at Pastures Green. We have Sue Ludden and Mark Smith. Thursday, there will be an evening of mediumship with Little Port Christian spiritualists. Friday, we will be back online 7 o'clock, and we will have 2 readings on screen, and the rest of the evening we will do as blind readings. So if you would like a chance to be on screen, if you send me a private message to either myself or Michael, just saying you'd like a reading Friday night, we've got a computer thingy that randomly pulls people's assigns numbers to people and then tells you what the top numbers are. So you will be randomly chosen to come online. So you must be free Friday night, 7 o'clock, and you will get a link through Messenger. So check your message invites if you haven't got me on Messenger, because sometimes they go into Messenger invites and people don't see them, and we end up with nobody to read for. So we'll end up doing a night of blind readings, which we don't mind doing, but it's nice to have people on every now and again.
It is absolutely.
So check your message requests in Facebook Messenger on Friday afternoon to see if you've got a link for StreamYard. That would take us to Sunday, when we will be back doing a Sunday service. So that'll be a divine service. We might introduce a bit of healing. I've missed doing the healing silence and the healing prayer in the middle of a divine service. Irene, what do you think?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not singing it.
Oh, go on.
I'm not singing it. I'll say anyway. So that's our notices. Friday, I might be back in Rotherham because I've got to go back and get my prescription from my doctors. Lisa, good night from Portugal. Thank you.
And Danielle, good night from Australia. Yes, good night.
Wow,
good night.
thank
God bless
you.
everyone. May an angel walk with you until we meet again.
Yes. Would you like to close us down in prayer, please, Irene?
I can.
Or would you like me to do it? It's up to you.
I'm not bothered, either or.
Go on then, as I opened and you said a poem. Go
on. Okay then. Dear Lord, Divine Father, thank you for this beautiful service this evening. We know we can't be together at the moment doing your beautiful churches, but we do what we can in your name from wherever we are. Please bless everyone that's been listening in tonight and send them a guardian angel to help them through the trials and tribulations of life. Could we please send healing out to wherever it's needed? You know where it's needed most, Lord. A healing prayer for our animal kingdom and for all those on beds of sickness and struggling with this horrible disease that is going round at the moment. And could I also ask for a guardian angel to be with each and every one of you until we meet again. Amen. Lord, keep us safe this night, secure from all our fears. May angels guard us while we sleep, till morning light appears. Amen.